like creative juices. That just
Fair enough.
Yo, what's up, bro? Where you at?
I'm at Tesco Old Kent. I need to get some food because I ain't with my boss.
What?
I'll be with you in about 10-15 minutes, inshallah.
Well, you're in the Tesco.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Alright, so
Have you guys started yet?
we just press record, but yeah,
Huh?
we just started recording. We press record just now.
Alright, no worries. Alright, I'll see you in a bit, inshallah.
I know it. So
Alright.
I'm just gonna go. You gonna tell me about my life?
No.
Did you actually leave at 3? You didn't, did you?
I left at 3, you know. I left at 3, bro. Trust me. It's that map.
Huh?
It's those maps.
Salamu alaikum, people. You're locked into Jollof after Jummah. Don't
You're
go anywhere.
I'm not, you know.
When's the last time you were here? Wait, you've been in
No,
the
it's
studio.
Zoom. He's been in the
I've
studio.
been here
but
once still.
The
Is it
Zoom
only
was the
once?
last time it was
Yeah,
on.
man.
Once?
Yeah, bro. I've been doing
Which episode was that?
No.
Dula and the whole reversing out of the car park without the license.
You've only been here once?
Yeah, in
Oh,
back, bro.
that mad episode.
Right. That was...
It's mad still. Like, it's proper sad.
No, not episode 12. What episode was that?
And I said,
I think it was 8. I think
No,
you're
no,
right.
8 was. Fam, I don't even know. In my head, we done 10, but
I think it's 7 then.
So
If it's not 8,
what
it's
episode
7.
was this?
This is 16.
What's mad is that?
I think it's episode 7.
Fam, how are we recording 16? Like
16.
on the
You
day
lot
episode 15.
Wait.
You lot should do something for.
No, yeah, you're right. It's episode 8.
Was it 8?
It's episode 8, yeah.
What, I know it looks suspicious.
Yeah, it's episode 8.
Was that 8?
Yeah.
No way. What we
Yeah.
been? Oh, how many zooms did we do? 4.
3 or 4?
Uncle Taufik.
I think it was 3.
Nah, it must have been 4. Must have
Because
been
I was
4.
in 2. And I know there was
Uncle
more.
Taufik one, and
It was 4.
did we have any other Zoom guests apart from Uncle Taufik?
Assalamu alaikum. You are now locked into Jollof after Jummah.
Yes. Wait. So so this BP thing.
Yeah, man.
So-
This is something that I clocked. Look, like, there's no information out there. Do you get me? Like, regarding important topics that were not taught in school. Do you get me? Insurance, tax, credit, like all them kind of stuff. Do you get me? Like, you can go online and get a music video, but you can't get those. You get me? Those gems. So at first I was gonna just do a thing where, like, you know, get influencers that I can not reach out to, but like arms width. Do you get me? Like, not ones that I have to try hard to get, kind of, just ones that are like around, because they're people that people listen to, innit? Unfortunately, but yeah, it's really unfortunate.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, you need to be clear what's in and what's not, because I know, because you get, remember, it has to
yeah.
So we're started, yeah. No, as in we've started. So
Oh my God.
so from now,
Why just been on the podcast? So
podcast
you
is-
can
the
name drop
podcast
me, it's
is
not
it.
bad.
and if you're saying the name, just say bro, or if not, I'll just bleep it or leave it. But I don't think if it's that deep. I'll check in it when I'm editing, but I don't think. Yeah, carry on.
But yeah, no, it's weird. It's like some people's teachers were. I'm sure we had teachers that were female. Do you get me? It's about the information and not who's presenting it. Do you get me? Like, I don't know. Do you get me?
Do you know what it is?
I hear you.
Nah, I hate
Because
you.
because we watch EastEnders. Well, I don't want to say we watch EastEnders because you're not meant to watch EastEnders or whatever, innit? But like, you know, you watch the news and stuff like that. These are ladies who are made up and whatnot. Do you get me?
Yeah, head up.
So it's like, yeah, man. It's
Do you know what it is? It's that thing, yeah, where it's like, obviously in life or in society or whatever, yeah, things happen, and you get used to certain things, and certain things become normalized. But then, and this is not referring to this situation specifically, but just because something becomes normalized, it doesn't mean that it's the best in it. So, for example, you just highlighted, like we watch EastEnders or we watch the news or whatever, and it has blah 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 in it. Then it's like, there's two things. Like, firstly, can it be avoided? In certain cases that we've mentioned examples, it can be. In certain cases, it's harder to. And secondly, it's like, as Muslims, brothers, whatever, all obviously we can do is our best in it, knowing what that ideal is, and trying to navigate and go as close to that as possible in it. So in a situation where it's like you have control, then obviously it's more on us in it to strive for that. Do you get me?
I got what you mean.
That's what I'd say on it. So for example, it's like if there's 2 videos, for example, and it's the same. Let's say you made 2 versions of the same video, or someone made 2 versions of the same video. For example, let's say there's Jollof after Jummah, then there's Jollof after Jummah Sisters Edition. Yeah. Ding 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 ding. Ding. You have to copyright that quickly, you know. Then Jollof after Sisters Edition. Yeah. Then, and like let's technically, if you was a you was a dad or something, you would say the bro, if you're gonna watch on YouTube, your son watched it.
Watch the Sisters Edition,
and your daughter watched the Sisters Edition, innit? Like, if it's the same information, imagine we're recording the same podcast. So, if the information doesn't, obviously, just can be done by, and especially when it comes to video, innit, and audio, then obviously we know what it is, innit? It's like if it can be delivered by
a man,
then cool. And if a sister's the best person for the job, or the only person who can do the job, then the information doesn't discredit the valid information. They can still give the information, but then there's going to be obviously certain stipulations attached to it from the brother side in terms of watching it. So, for example, like the sisters, historically, Islamically, have been teachers. Do you get me?
Yeah.
But then there's obviously additional etiquette when it comes to being a student of a woman teacher. So it would be obviously, like, you don't need to be sitting in front of the class staring. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be, do you know what I mean? There's certain stipulations attached to it.
That reminds me of a hadith that I had. I'm going to be paraphrasing because I heard it a while ago. So if I say this wrong, and please someone, if anybody hears and I say wrong, please correct me.
Write it down and maybe I'll post up.
It was Aisha radiallahu anha who was actually, I think, because she had possession of hadith that some of the Sahaba didn't have, and some of them used to go to her to hear about these hadith, and when she was telling these hadith to them, she would do it from a veil, behind a veil. Is that alright? I think that's right. So yeah, I guess that literally just goes back to what you're saying, that if, obviously for males, if the information is accessible from other males, then get it from them, but if not, then if it has to be from a woman, then you just have to be extremely careful about how we do it.
Salamu alaikum, people. You're locked into Jollof after Jummah. Don't go anywhere. Salamu alaikum.
You started officially.
We're back. Eventually, we're back. Staggered intro. I don't even know what. This is a mess. We're here. What time is it?
7.
It's Friday. It's literally it's after Jummah.
Yeah.
It's 7 o'clock.
Obviously, what it is we're recording
on
the same week.
Yeah.
We have to get these episodes out for you.
So I'm sorry if the Vim is not the same,
Studio's closed.
but I'm sick of these man them already. I saw them like 2 days ago after recording with them.
In another 2 days.
Yeah, fam, man, 2 days again. But anyway, it's what we have to do. Is what it is. It is what it is. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Welcome back to Jollof after Jummah. Make sure you're following us, all of that good stuff. I'll get out early.
What's your name?
Stop. Huh?
What's your name?
No, because like, do you know, it's like it's a checkpoint, isn't it? So it's like before they get comfortable, settled in, they get their popcorn. Let me just before all of that, just double tap the middle button on your phone, Just scroll it to the left a bit. I know you people. Then go to Instagram or YouTube, and YouTube. You click follow or subscribe, and then you like, and then you go to WhatsApp, and then you just say, "Hey guys, assalamu alaikum. Have you heard about this awesome new podcast called Jollof after Jummah?" And then you tell them, and then I'll be very grateful. And then you screenshot that you've done that, then Abdullah will give you £5, inshallah. Yeah? Alright, cool.
I don't know which Abdullah they're talking about.
Alright, cool. He hasn't denied it. My name, finally, is Abdul Malik.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Abdullah. That's the name.
Mahmoud.
They freed him.
Back.
They freed him, yeah.
That's a freedom.
They freed him. Got a bag of sweets as well.
For the man, then, man.
You know,
how much? 20% left.
Just me.
For the man.
There's like it's leaking at the bottom.
I promise you, yeah, that was full.
There's like 0.6% of this.
That was full.
This pack left
at 3 o'clock when I started the journey.
It was full at when?
3 o'clock when I jumped on the M-way.
Red,
it was full.
It was full when you jumped on the M-way.
Literally.
Okay.
Someone needs to stop me.
Someone needs to stop you. When we keep checking you into rehab, man, you keep escaping, fam. They can't hold you down. Anyway, what you saying though? Long time no see, man.
Alhamdulillah, man. Alhamdulillah. I guess for the viewers, we should just say from the jump, innit?
Yeah, for you didn't. Make it somber.
Now or at the end or what?
You kind of ruined it now. You might as well do it now.
Oh,
You have to do it now.
You have to do it now.
What was the pattern?
You have to do it now.
What was the pattern before?
No, might as well do it.
Might as well.
They're going to make them sad now. They're going to get all sad
I
now.
said
Like.
they get all sad. It is what it is, you get me? But yeah, man. This will be the last episode of me being a... What do you call it? Full-time? Yeah, regular member. Full-time regular member. Obviously, the boys are still the boys. The bros are the bros. But yeah, man, being in Birmingham, it's not very... What do you call it? It's not cohesive. Conducive. Cohesive is
not feasible.
You can use that as well.
Huh?
You can use cohesive too, right?
Not in that.
You can't. Damn. It's mad. Still got A in the GCSE.
It's a beef effort though.
It's not feasible for you to come down.
But yeah, it's not feasible. It's not conducive. But yeah, like, you know, whenever I can come, yeah, it will be as a guest, of course. But yeah, I want the brothers to move forward as a trio. So yeah, man, still judge, but -1. What do you call it?
I'm gonna leave you to drown still.
It's techie, but
What was it? Quadrate.
Whoa, what's a quadrivalent, you know?
That's a quadrilateral. From a quartet to a trio. That's what the episode title will be because.
Where did I get quadrate?
No, you can't even choose the episode title nowadays, you know, because do you know, quick side note, yeah? Look, Mamz message in the chat, yeah. Ibs, are you gonna be free to like do the description, blah blah blah? Episode's up now. Episode's up. Airtime. So I open up the laptop like midnight or something. I'm like, this guy, I can't trust it. I can't trust it.
bad, you know.
I can't trust this. So I didn't. But yeah, but you always reply. Anyways, you know what I mean? So obviously, certain man they get the thing and then they're different use.
Talking of the last episode.
You said if it's changing.
I've got a family. Do you know ones where I've got a family as well? Do you know what I mean? Like
That's the one message I didn't see.
no.
I always do it every Friday. I'm on point.
If it's changing on the
one
man.
episode I
Fam,
missed was the one
all
I
I'm saying is,
wasn't on.
Ibs, you normally reply in the chat.
Yeah, and that's the one message I missed.
Huh?
That's the one message I missed. I saw everything else apart from that, and I did it. Did I not?
I'm gonna
Even
say
before I saw the message, I did it.
You know the man had his defense
there
ready. He had his defense ready.
I like it, man. I like it.
Don't take out your stress on me, rude boy.
Also, in regard to the last episode,
Excuses and
I just want to clarify because I
The episode's
listened
not even
to
out.
when well,
Oh, it just came out like 2 hours ago.
Yeah. So it's not like I'm reacting to backlash, but I listened back to a snippet of the pod that came out today, and I'm not gonna lie, there was like there was a segment where if you cut it, it will sound like I'm bashing sisters that are not married. Like there was a bit where I said, obviously, if you're not married, you're not mature, whatever, along those lines. I didn't say that, but if you cut it,
You know, if someone just cut what you just said, Nando.
it will be a thing where if someone had a vindictive.
That's not possible, man. It was in context.
Yeah, but listen, the way I said it, I'm not thinking about it at the time because I'm saying it. But if someone was to cut it, it would sound mad. So I just want to clarify that I wasn't getting onto sisters saying because you're not married, blah blah blah. What I meant was, in short, in a marriage, from both sides, husband or wife, you're going to realize that there's no time and place for agidi. There's no you can't be stubborn. You can't. Just stubborn. Just
Don't ask him questions.
just
You know
vim.
when we talk about sisters,
we were
Dylan's gonna be
talking-
making statements every week.
Because we were talking about vim and just I'm gonna have my way. There's no place for that in a marriage. If a man has respect for himself, it's not running. You're gonna get humbled, and this is either way.
Is this you man's opinions as well?
Remember what I said about if you leave him to talk for 2 minutes,
This is
he'll always kill himself.
Okay.
You're gonna have to clarify.
But I'm talking facts though. I'm talking facts though.
When I
Either
said
way,
that,
either way.
I just want to clarify that.
Listen, if it's the husband or the wife, bruv, you will get humble.
tell us more.
We know, man. We know, man, that are stubborn, innit? Oh, I'm not gonna do this for my wife.
Yeah, I know one of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's in this room.
Are you talking about me?
Mums will tell you.
I was even thinking of Mamz. I was thinking of someone else.
Can never be me, fam.
Not in this room.
Can never be me, fam.
But I'm thinking of man in my head that I always like.
You're thinking of man in your head, right? We clip that one as well. That's a bit mad.
We're gonna get.
Anyways,
I'm
thinking of a couple man.
Dylan needs media training.
We're gonna get you media training. Honestly,
ASAP.
Anyways,
Can't do interviews. Can't be going on ITV breakfast with Dula in the podcast. Lock off.
Cut that.
yeah, you can jump on ITV. What am I doing on the ITV?
Oh, Piers Morgan.
But anyways, yeah, like I was saying, there's it's both sides. That there's men that are saying they won't do this for their wife, they won't do this for their wife.
We're still on this.
Yeah, because you ain't let me finish.
Bro, you know, there's not even been a backlash.
Fam, trust me. Like,
if there are people, but
I don't know
been
how
out.
to find this.
Doing preventative maintenance.
Prevented it.
You didn't have to clarify.
Let me quickly.
I had to.
Let me quickly finish though. Let me quickly finish.
Go, man.
So yeah, Wajid was in one of the episodes, and he called me this week, and he was just like, alright, like he wasn't in the episode, and I clocked that there hadn't been much, because this has been from time ago that, you know, obviously it's been it's been a thing where it's like I can't appear on the episodes no more, innit? So yeah, it's just moving forward, making it known that yes, it's a trio thing. You get me? It's a trio thing.
So Mamz, yep. Obviously, we loved having you. All of that stuff. Yeah. It's sad. Obviously, I know the people are gonna be sad. But obviously, life is the way it is, and locations and all them things they have to sometimes dictate what we can do. As you said, it's not cohesive. It's not cohesive for us.
This guy.
It's not conducive. But yeah, man. Obviously, you're welcome back anytime. Always original member, all of that good stuff. May Allah grant you success in all your future endeavors. And all our listeners, if you can give an Ameen as well. Yeah, man. Should we crack on? Get all of that stuff out of the way. Let me just wipe off my tears and that. And let's go. I think you had something for us as your last episode. You had something that you wanted us to do.
Obviously, I want the man to play a game that I've been working on. Is it?
This is sick.
Basically, conversation cards, innit? Mm-hmm. So they're not ready for release
for the marriage meetings and that. Yeah.
Huh? Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Hey, let's establish that.
Yeah, we'll talk. Oh, it's what 10%? Yeah.
Just to add into.
Hey, the game can be played with your missus, you know. Be played with your guys and that. Yeah, man, this one's more to do with like our demographic, you know, our demographic and how we can elevate basically. So through these cards, we can, you know, discuss how to elevate, because a lot of, you know, talking happens, but it's not very structured. So I feel like the card game, I produced it so that it can give structure to these conversations. Do you get me? It can make man think outside of the box, man and women. Think outside the box. You could play it with your missus, you could play it with your, you know, your guys, you could play it at uni, with your family as well. Because this game will bring out opinions from the older generation all the way down to the younger generations. Do you get me? But yeah, basically just loads of questions on there. Well, it's a conversation card game, innit? So you pick the card, you take the question that you pick, that you get at random, and you discuss it. Yeah. But an element of it is when you discuss, you play devil's advocate. That, you know, you could discuss freestyling, or you can play devil's advocate by basically splitting the room.
That's my favourite thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the man, like, obviously the viewers in that would clock that who in the podcast is the more diplomatic one. Do you get me? The one that will kind of look at things from an out of the box view. But yeah, what I'm saying,
some will say that's Ibs, but I think it's me. But anyway.
I say it's you know. No, actually, no. Ibs is very This guy's the opposite. If Abdullah's got something on his head, that's what he's sticking with, innit? But yeah, nothing bad with that as well.
His mind in the thing. You changed your mind in was it 2 episodes ago when we were talking about? No, when you were talking. What was the one when we were talking about the dad ask you to iron or whatever?
I didn't change.
I wasn't.
Did you change your mind?
No, you
So
changed the concept. The
Oh,
concept
hell,
was.
See,
the
I
concept
tried.
was-
You know, I tried to.
No.
He said no.
He
He said no. I don't want your help.
The first, there was 2 scenarios. I said no for one, yes for the other. The one I said no for was, man, dash it at you. I ain't that.
We're gonna have to hoover this room when we're done.
That's not happening. The second one was, man came to me, asked me, yo, I need help. I'm tied up.
Or maybe
Could
I'm
you
thinking of
please help
something
me
else. I'm sure there's
iron
something
my,
changing,
my
man.
trousers.
This is sick, by the way, mashallah.
So yeah, man. So literally, you pick the card, and if let's say Abdul Malik can, let's just pick a card for example.
This is the first one. I think this is a good
Read
question.
it out,
Yeah?
please, bro.
All right. The question is: do traditional punishments cause more harm than good? E.g., hot saucing and spanking. What is hot saucing?
Hot saucing.
Hot saucing is a mad thing that I found out literally whilst researching.
This is Sierra
what do you think
Leone.
of the
Sierra
Ghanaian
Leone.
flair?
It sounds like
It's
put
not
pepper
Nigerian.
up
I
the
know that for sure.
Sierra
bro,
Leone.
yeah.
I've heard. When I hear this thing,
It's the one where they put the pepper up the bum.
Yeah, that.
What?
Literally, bro,
And
when I was looking
even
for
in the
traditional
vagina,
punishments, it came up.
even in vagina as well.
Yeah, man.
Eh?
Yeah, man. It's
That's
mad.
not even. That's
You
not
know that-
punishment.
You know that
man.
Rodo,
That's
like
FGM,
small
bro.
pepper.
they put it up here.
Bro.
What kind of
Scale it
punishment
back.
is
That's
that?
Bro,
bro?
it's not mutilation, but that's
a
abuse, bro.
trigger
Is
thing.
there a
That's a
fact
trigger
at the
thing.
bottom of it? or
Yeah.
something?
So it says
That's crazy.
30 years after the passing of the UN Convention of the Rights of the Child, only 8 African countries have made corporal punishment illegal. Sorry. So only 8 African countries have made corporal punishment illegal. Proverb: if you spare the rod, you'll spoil the child.
Oh, that's like
Yeah,
That's like the other side of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what is mad about that?
I know one of my aunties says that all the time.
Yeah, exactly. See, but what's mad about that is that, like, part of the discussion will be, it could even filter into like a lot of these adults have ulterior, like that is a weird punishment. You get me? Like
That's
do you
that's
get
more
me?
than
Like,
weird.
does
That's
it-
tap.
Isn't I feel like you need to check anybody who is doing that kind of stuff to
Hot
children.
saucing.
Bro.
No.
That is mad.
Do you know
Bro.
what it is? Do you know what it is? What I'll say though is that, like, I've heard of people that I've met or I've spoken to people who've received that, yeah, and this is the couple Sierra Leonean, is that what you say? People that I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, to them, they're not like they're not bare bitter about it. It's just like it's a thing in it. It's their culture. Same way, like, if you think of getting a belt in your back, which or your bum or whatever, which is normal to us, somebody could say that's barbaric, but so it's just
Okay.
on the spectrum, innit?
Fair
So
enough.
if how can we say
that's
oh
on the
no,
other
but
end of the spectrum though, because the amount of
yeah,
effort,
says who?
the amount of effort that takes.
At least that
as
one
well.
doesn't. That one might not leave scars.
And mental scars.
Mental
boy.
scars, boy,
Fam,
'cause-
that's weird.
Yeah,
Right.
but it's mental scar. But you know when something's normal to you, yeah, it might not be that deep. So there's a lot of things that in this world that go on, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that happen in this world that to some people are
Outrageous.
and to some people are just normal.
So all
So
of this is birthed from a generation of or a time where parents used to beat their children, sometimes not even out of punishment, but rather out of frustration. So,
Which is haram as well, isn't it?
so
I think to kind of get into the question,
Yeah, that's just one of 20.
think
but yeah.
I've no
on
answer- I have no
on
answer
on
for
on
this.
some level, I feel like that kind of punishment can be seen as lazy parenting.
Very lazy still.
I'm not to offend, let's say our parents, because we
I've never been hit. Oh, I've been hit
Really?
once in my life.
That is a very
okay. And like I said, I think one
By my
side of
parents.
it can be seen as lazy parenting. So rather than correcting a child and teaching them that what
Speaking
they've
to
done
them.
is wrong and telling them why what they've done is wrong,
Yeah.
you're just hitting them to show them what they've done is wrong, and there's no kind of corrective sequence from there. It's just you've done something wrong and you've been hit for it. Where do we go from here? Do you know what I mean? Now you just know.
But it's negative reinforcement though. It might work.
Okay.
So I've like anyone that's beaten doesn't work, and a full stop is just like they're chatting rubbish.
Yeah, I haven't said,
it can
like I
work.
said, I haven't said it doesn't work. I said that's one side of it. It can be seen. I haven't said it doesn't work
Yeah.
because I'm trying to be careful here.
No, mommy, no.
without incriminating his parents.
I'm just trying to be careful here. I'm trying to be careful.
I think beating is required.
That's
but
traumatic.
For me,
That's a required.
but it's
Good or bad?
For me, for me, it's a last resort. Like last resort. If all fails,
it's not required.
It's
not required.
No, it's required once in a while.
Come here, I haven't beat you in a while.
Go around here. Would you beat your child?
Yeah.
Would you beat your child?
As he said, not required.
Actually, in fact, let me rephrase that.
Yes.
After this, you have to discuss with management sometimes before you say it. No, but
what I meant was.
So what I said was what I'll say is I'm not adverse.
Oh, okay, if it's hold on. If it's a yes or no thing, what's your answer? If it's a yes or no.
Excuse, why is man doing my job?
Bro, is
this what I do to man? I don't like this, you know. Come outside now. I'm not. Yeah. Yes.
No.
I'm repeating what Ibs said. I'm shocked from Ibs as well.
Ibs, your family. The most aggressive family I've ever like. All of them born with screw face.
Wait, is that a no?
Yes or
no?
What
was the question? Sorry.
Would you beat your child?
Rarely.
No, it's a yes or no thing.
That's yes.
It's not straightforward. Because if I say yes, it's gonna
bruv.
This is what you men are like.
Hold on.
I get what he means. It's not really
because there's a last resort.
But by saying rarely, so yes. You said rarely, so
yes. As I said, it's required.
Okay, we'll get. Listen, we don't need to give you a full answer now. Right?
Listen, I just said it's required, and you man went on like I said. Oh, you have to beat your children.
Okay. But required means that you have to. That's what it means.
You have to once in a while. That's what I said.
But you're moaning at us for saying that. We said that you have to. What more do you want from me?
Cool. So you're yes, Mamz.
Yeah, man. Obviously, there's extents to it, though. That's the thing.
You're all in the yes camp.
Wait, Ibs, but the thing is, no one believes it.
The reason, okay, no.
There's some mad children out there, you know.
Huh?
So that means it's a yes then.
Wait, if I'm never gonna meet my children,
you just said no.
If it's not required, no. I don't think you have to hit a child for them to raise them properly. I don't think it's necessary. You don't have to.
So you're never ever going to beat your children.
I don't plan to.
You don't have to.
I don't plan to.
I don't plan to either.
I don't
but
plan
there's going
exactly.
to be times where
Cool. So
felt like it was like
right. So starters, you mean to go on. If you don't plan to, your answer should be no, right?
But there's going to be times. Listen,
why?
Why? But by saying no, you're basically saying that even if it feels like this is what I should do, I'm not going to beat my child.
That's
what no means.
No, it isn't. I said starters, you mean to go on. I don't plan to ever beat my
Yeah,
children.
but I'm not. You feel I haven't got like a blueprint at home. Exactly. I haven't got a sketch like saying, "Oh, when I beat my kids in."
Fine.
Like, do you know what I mean?
I get that, but what you're saying is for you, at some stage, it's going to be an option.
Yes.
I don't.
But the thing is, if my child.
But for me, it's a last resort. This is a case where all else has failed.
Right. Okay.
And
cool.
we've gone through. You need to remember that there's many steps in disciplining a child. It doesn't have to get to.
He knows that.
What's the question?
I understand that. Do you think traditional punishments cause more harm
do they cause more harm than good?
Right. Cool. Hold on.
We'll get to that. We'll get.
Cool.
We're unpacking.
Right. I feel like the reason I'm in this camp is because I have 3 nieces. Ages 3, 2, and 1. Mashallah, they're all good kids, and
they're girls as well.
Yeah, they're girls, and none of them have ever been hit.
Never.
None of them have ever been hit.
To your knowledge.
To my knowledge, I strongly believe that. I know. Let me not. I know.
But
my brothers don't beat their kids.
Well, if it's they're not all the eldest. 2 of them would be. Because I feel that how troublesome a child is depends on where they are.
The age.
What about your niece?
As a child? I said how old are you?
My sister's strong on not. Yeah.
Actually, I can tell you. Your sister.
You all have nieces and nephews?
Yeah. I have a little sister that's going to have to be my daughter.
Fine. So, have you? I think the reason I'm possibly in this camp is because I've seen children being raised without being beaten and seen that it does. Obviously, they're not fully grown yet, but for where they're at now,
they're good
works.
Kids. Yeah, because they're still good.
Yeah. So I'm saying I don't feel like it's a necessity. You don't. If you don't have to hit them, don't.
Exactly.
Do you feel it? No, but I think you're changing the argument though, because look, like me saying I'm prepared to, or yes, doesn't mean I'm saying I'm planning to. It means that I'm saying that I see it as an option.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is different. That doesn't mean it's the option or the top option. So basically, what Dolla's saying.
What's the default?
So, but I'm saying like, so are you like?
Okay, so
Are
those
you-
are two different questions because the question he asked was, do you plan to? You now said, do you see it as an option? Those are
Yeah,
two
no,
different
I
questions.
take back the question
two
I
different
asked was
questions.
dangerous still.
No, but do you plan to? The thing, like, come on, we're
I
not
don't
dumb.
think
We're
anyone-
not dumb.
I
None of
don't
us are
think-
just gonna beat kids for no reason.
Yeah,
innit?
of
I
course.
hope not. Anyway.
Like Abdul Malik said, I don't think there's a blueprint there saying, oh, okay.
So
when
do
my
I
child
see
reaches
do I
this,
see it
I'm
as an
gonna
option?
beat
Yes,
them. We don't
that's
plan
my
to
question
beat
to
our
you.
Alright, cool. If I see it as do I see it as an option? Yes. As a
No,
last.
again,
See,
no,
see,
again,
no,
again,
no,
no,
see
no,
what Ibs was trying.
no,
Ibs was trying to do the
no,
modern.
I wasn't
Aye,
chatting.
see,
I
man,
wasn't chatting.
he was trying to do. You know the man trying to do the modern guy thing.
It's two different questions.
Oh, Ibs wouldn't do that. Allow it, man.
Man try to be
It's
politically
savage. Yo, I know your thing.
politically
fam.
correct, you know.
I know what your thing is.
It's two different questions.
Well, you haven't watched the Black? Wow, I know that's you. That's Ibs.
Man was trying to be
Ibs
politically
is gonna be, you know that dad, yeah, that you can't even, like, you know, you walk in, you walk in. Why are you smiling?
Yeah, man.
You man are stretching.
Go to bed. Dad, it's 10 a.m. Go to bed. That's you. That's you.
That's stretching.
That's you. Allow it.
I'm not an aggressive guy. You man are
But no.
stretching.
So now that we've established that Ibs is gonna beat his kids, yeah, because and we've got rid of that rubbish, yeah. Can we have a proper discussion? I don't know. See what you tried to do to us, man.
I didn't try to do anything.
On a serious note, though,
It's two
as
different questions.
let's talk as men in raising children. I feel like, inshallah, I feel like from my experience, all you need is that presence as a male figure, a male role model in a house to kind of
Make the kids
have
run.
that authority. Yeah, not have the kids run, but because you can see in every household, most households, you can see that there's a level of respect there. When the dad comes in the house, the mood changes. Not the mood changes, but there's certain stuff that they know won't run. Even if they've got for example, me and my little sister can play with me. It's not like she's scared of me or whatever, but she will act. Ever since I moved out, she was acting up. When I
How old is
came,
she?
every time I'm in the house,
10 now or what? 8?
she's 6 now.
Six,
Seven.
okay.
When I'm in the house now, she's not trying that stuff. Or if you're gonna have times where your wife's gonna call you, or your wife's gonna play with the children and say, "You better pattern up, otherwise I'm gonna call your dad." That's that level of respect that naturally comes as a man.
That's
But
fine.
you know, yeah.
So-
You know, with kids though, yeah. I don't actually think, especially with kids, let's say under 9, under 8. I don't think that's respect. I think it's fear. I actually don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know, because you know why? Because at that age, yeah,
You're not old enough to know the difference,
the mind isn't
It's a bit of
developed.
both.
The mind isn't
it's
developed
not.
enough to know to have that feeling of respect. That's why.
I hear what
that's
you're
why.
saying.
That's
Respect comes when the children
I understand what
people
you're
get
saying.
older.
I understand what you're saying because I've experienced it, but
But what you need to do is
I don't think
differentiate between fear, as in, because
This
if
is
she
what I'm
feared
saying,
you,
so
she
you-
would not play with you. She would not want to be around you.
Yeah, so
she's scared.
you-
No.
That's
Some
the
fear
difference
is
between being
different.
scared
No, but there's different. There's
and a difference between.
no, but there's levels to fear though.
Yeah, you could be
Yeah,
scared
that's
and
what I'm
want
saying.
and be. Yeah, there's a
There's-
Stockholm syndrome,
syndrome, yeah.
where like they did like research and like I think someone who's been like in captivity
Yeah.
for time.
So you develop feelings for your captor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Stockholm
and so
syndrome,
that
yeah.
is fair, but still, it's like an element of fair which is like yearning for your acceptance kind of.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't
So
know,
there's,
but
I know. So basically, what you're saying now, there's levels. So there's fear of disapproval, and there's fear of there's fear of you, just fear. Like I'm scared of you. That if a
Yeah.
child is
But
scared
don't-
of you, that's he'll run away from, or
but don't-
he or she will run away from you. Also, and then there's fear of disapproval, where he knows that you're fine, but he knows that if you're not happy, the version of you that is gonna appear
It's long
is
for
what
you.
he's scared of.
what he's
So
scared
like with a mum, for example, in that situation you said, yeah, where there's like a mum and it's like, oh, I'm gonna call your dad. The child is still probably scared of upsetting the mum, but the child associates like fear of the mum. Maybe, oh, she's not gonna be as give me cuddles anymore. She's not gonna talk to me. So you fear that you lose that affection. Whereas with the dad, what you're scared of is that you're just gonna get beat or you're gonna get something bad's gonna happen to you.
That's not what I'm talking
No,
about.
no. But in that when because
That is not what
look,
I'm
so
talking
but the
about.
thing
I was
is
talking about the first part.
no, but if you say
Because that's specifically when I was talking about me and my sister. That is specifically the first part you mentioned of
It didn't come
fearing
off.
that you're not going to that the child's gonna fear that they're not gonna feel that affection of hugs and stuff.
That is not how it came off when you said it.
Yeah, because
you said when the dad walks in the house, the mood changes.
Yeah, because look,
that's why
different, bro.
if you listen back to the pod,
that's Thanos around.
I'm not talking about that. If you listen back to the pod, I'm sure I corrected myself.
Whoever changing
and I said, not the mood, but like the I don't know how to the
vibe, the
like
atmosphere.
There's a level of it. They're going to have more of a. They're gonna respect you more than a mother. Is inherent. But it's going to happen.
But for a child, what is like? Because for a child,
it's not inherent. That's how it should be. Because it's not always like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it depends.
I was more shook on my mum than my dad.
I think it depends on who spends more. I think it depends on who spends more time.
There's stuff
with the child.
Yeah,
your familiarity breeds disrespect.
Yes.
So whoever you're more familiar with, you're more likely.
Some people are genuinely more scared of their mum than I don't think it's a male father.
And
that's how it should be. It should be like that. That your children should be not less familiar with your parents, but like you said, the dad should have that kind of male authority influence.
I think it goes deeper. I think that's just the fitra from Allah. Like, naturally, when there's a man and a woman in a house raising children, the man's just naturally gonna go. And if there isn't, then.
But that's true. But you know why? But you know, do you know where that boil? The reason where that boils down to is because then, like obviously,
it's just like men and women.
But like when you said the fear a child is fearing when you can say I'm to behave or I'm gonna get your dad to come here. If you think about it, why is the only reason that can be an escalation point is because of the fear of some type of.
I was gonna get onto that.
Not violence, but some punishment, innit?
No.
Because
you know what?
could one second.
We need to refocus. We need to just keep that in mind. So go on,
because as I said, the mum is meant to be respected, and the dad's meant to be respected. So if you respect, if the mum is not gonna be the threat of beating or blah blah blah, then what are they scared of the dad for? What's the dad? What does the dad bring to the table? That is it's gonna be.
And that's where the art
comes in. That's where I disagree with what you said, because just now you said this to do a fitra and that. With fitra, I get what you mean in terms of like the male having the father having like his role and the mother having their role, like given by Allah and that. But when it comes to like discipline and like how you interact with your children and like them being scared of you and all that, I wouldn't say that's the case. Like, how do I explain this?
I don't think.
No, because real quick, because you said that it's the father that that should naturally be fed as opposed to the mother. No, I think where the fitra element of things come in is where you're speaking about like teaching the child to do certain things. But when it comes to how the parent interacts with the child, there's no like the mum can be way more like have way more
compassion.
Be more
see, that's what I'm saying. I don't think compassion is for women. It's for the mum, and then it's not from the dad. You get because some people like because they see their mum more, and the mum is the one that's always onto their case about tidying their rooms. When the dad comes back now, they're all paddy with the dad, and the dad is paddy with them. But hold on, it's the dad that is given that is the compassionate one, whereas they're afraid of the mum. You get me? No, but because just now you mentioned that the fitra.
That's why let me finish explaining.
No, because you finished just ages ago, innit?
When you finished.
Alright, cool.
Continue.
I'll get onto your thing in regards to fitra in a minute. And I'll give you another example so that you can kind of understand what I'm saying. But firstly, I'll touch on the point that you were talking about in regards to disappointment. What I meant was, put it this way. Wouldn't it be better if your child, rather than fearing the punishment of being physically punished and facing traditional punishment, what if they feared... The greater fear was of them disappointing you.
The dad.
Yes.
I heard that, but then it's like, but the dad. So the opposite of disappointment is like adulation and like congrats and affection and blah blah blah.
Yes.
But in the same example you've given, they're receiving that more. If you're going back to the whole gender roles type thing, they're receiving more of that from the mum. So the fear of that. So the reason that the dad is an escalation point is because if they feared losing affection, then the mum not giving them affection should be enough to make them calm down. But the escalation point to the dad is because of the dad's bringing something else that he can take away from the table as well. But then why would you escalate? Why would it be, I'll stop behaving,
because they have they have a great deal of respect for their father, where if they did something, they know they would be disappointing their father, and that in turn is enough to get them to ponder or rethink their decisions.
That's why I say that it's not about the mum
levels
dad.
Of respect. I think it's I don't think it's levels of respect. I think it's more
levels of respect.
There's no feature
why do kids okay, maybe it's not level of respect, but I don't know what to call it.
It's
why
a
do
different
kids mess
threat.
about naturally? Why do kids naturally mess about more or feel more free with their mother?
No, don't say that.
I don't think
you don't have
that's
statistics to say that, bro.
No, but for him, I don't actually think that's true.
Because I'll be real. Hold on, real quick. Malika just said that. Yeah, I can say majority of my because my aunties are very strict. Yeah, like majority of my cousins are more afraid of their mums than they are their dads.
100.
So
and this is
I feel real quick.
It's just because
I'm saying that.
That's what it is.
I'm saying that it's very wild to just say that, you know, naturally men are more scared of their dads than their mum. You get me?
This is not about being scared.
Don't pick my words. I'm saying
that's not exactly what
you get
he
me.
means,
What you basically just said about naturally certain not scared. I don't know what word you used in it, but it's not that. Do you get me? Because there's a lot of women out there who I've got Somali friends, Fam, I've got Somali friends, big up my Somalis and that. Who like their mums dash like knives at them. Do you get me? When like they're raggle, bro.
I can't understand. No, just say I got friends from a certain nationality.
So the Mali listeners
on
just
parents' evening, like I'm talking like on parents' evening, like their mums will come here. Like
I've heard of shoes.
Wait, they're bringing knives to parents' evening,
bro. Like parents' evening, like fully.
Man's doing Kill Bill at parents' evening,
like fully carved up and everything. But it's like somebody who was on the maddest of smoke at break time and that is just proper like calm, like proper timid. You get me? Because they know
docile.
You know, it goes back to that,
Boy, that's you, man's. My opinion stay the same.
Right.
From what I've observed growing up, and from what is the norm, and from my point of view, the male naturally, and this is not. I'm talking about fathers that have good relationships with their children. Nurture their children, play with their children. Their children, they're not scared of them like that. They're not. But they have a certain level of fear, respect, whatever you call it, where they know I'm not going to mess around.
That's it.
If I do that,
because it'll fist me up,
No, not fist me up. It's not
random.
I'm joking.
Let's circle back.
Anyway, let's cut this.
The
other example,
let's answer that and then let's quickly round up and answer that.
I'll just give you the quick
example.
I'll just give you the quick example that I wanted to give that I thought maybe you could kind of understand this more in regards to fitra. So, what I was going to talk about with men and women was, you see how, as a man, if you're chatting to women naturally have this thing where they'll try and push to see what they can get away with.
Assalamu alaikum. You are now locked into the Jollof After Jummah podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, rate us, all of them good things there.
Do traditional punishments cause more harm than
I feel like we haven't touched on elements, and I want to switch question, innit? Like, just change it up. I want to change it up, but you know, like for you playing it at home or whatever, an element of that could be growing up. You know, if your dad's been the one on smoke and that, like, you might not feel comfortable with having certain conversations with him once you finish uni. Do you get me? Before you were a graduate, your dad was all onto you about homework, and he never used to have conversations with you about it. Do you get me? About life, about actual things. Instead, it will be, you haven't done your homework, smack you or something. If that's the case, those punishments have done more harm than good, because now education's finished and there's nothing to smack you about. Getting down to the nitty gritty of who you are, your dad can't do. Do you get me? You can't have conversations about, I'm chatting to this woman or whatever.
Is that because of punishments or just general parenting? Because I could say that there are certain things that I don't feel comfortable talking to my parents about, but that wasn't because of punishments. It just might have not been
just communication kind of thing.
Just
I feel like punishments can make it worse, innit? Of course, if punishments are out of the equation, there could still be a parent
like,
doing.
When I got to a certain age, punishments just stopped. So like throughout,
there's no point.
Yeah, there's no point. Yeah, so like from a certain age, it stopped. So it became less about punishments and just more about how you communicate with your parents and what kind of things you talk to them about. And if I talk to my mum about this, are they going to be happy that I'm bringing that this sort of conversation, or will I receive their approval? Because like just things like that. So that's why I'm a bit iffy on your
all
point.
All of that stuff comes at a certain stage though, because there's a stage where you're raising the children, then there's a stage where you become more of a friend to their children and more of a mentor.
Yeah, of course, but even now, there's still things that I might not speak to my parents about. Certain topics I don't speak to my parents about. Like, bro,
Careful. No. Quickly, not on it. And I didn't even show me you got time. But so like to answer the question, I don't think that they cause more harm than good. Yeah, but like anything in this world, when you abuse it or misuse it or blah blah blah, you're gonna cause trouble, and that's life, innit? So like, for example, when it comes to hitting your children, I think hitting your children is fine when they're especially when they're at a stage where comprehending verbal communication to understand the negative implications of what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna hit home, and when you just want a child to understand, same way like when you touch a hot stove, the stove doesn't say, "Wait, child, don't touch me, or I'm going to burn you," and that's gonna hurt. The stove will burn the finger, and then the child will understand. And I feel like beating negative reinforcement, and I feel like beating can hold the same place. And if I bring a different type of example, a different type of perspective, yeah. For example, I've spoken to people, yeah. I can remember a specific conversation with a guy I know, yeah, where it was like they have different children, yeah, and this is I would say intelligent parenting. There's different children, and for example, one child may process different information in a different way, and to some of his children, for example, if I beat these children will get upset, and there will be more hurt and upset at the fact that daddy is angry at me and he's beating me. Whereas there's another child who may process information differently, who will basically receive the beating as, oh, I'm gonna cry now, and I'm not gonna do it again. This negative reinforcement, and in 5 minutes I've forgotten what dad has done to me. So for that child, for example, it may look cruel or looks like you've given up or blah 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 blah. But what you're actually doing is doing the best thing for the child, because it's not every single person, and even like it's not every single, people are different, especially children. They develop at different stages. Even if you boil it down, I don't want to get into there, but you have disabilities and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, how are they meant to learn? Like in life, you learn based on the experiences of others and the experiences of yourself. Innit?
This goes back to what I was saying. I think at the beginning when I said that beating children can be seen as lazy parenting.
Yeah. It can be misinterpreted as lazy parenting too.
Okay. But the reason I said that, I don't have any children, so I could be waffling here, but this is my opinion. I think before you get to a stage, where beating possibly has no effect on the child anymore, because either they're too grown for it or just whatever.
Yeah.
Before that stage, when a child does something wrong, I believe it takes a lot of conversation, especially with a very, very young child, for a child to understand what they've done, why it's wrong, the consequences of that. Yeah. And I feel like when you're beating children, you kind of just skip over all of that, and you say some people, fair enough. Yeah. You kind of skip over all of that kind of process, and it's just you've done something wrong. This is the consequence. You skip over that entire process, and you miss the learning. This is why I'm saying that in some cases it can just be seen as lazy parenting, because for you to sit down and speak to a 2-year-old and explain, it's effort. And it can be tiring, and this is why I'm saying that it can be lazy parenting.
And Africans being natural hotheads, because Africans are usually natural hotheads. Like, beating a 2-year-old might not even seem weird. Do you get me? But
Yeah.
if you come there and you try that, like,
Yeah.
it's nuts.
But
It goes back
exactly.
to remember I said about beating children out of frustration.
And
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
which-
this is also
And it's
what
haram.
this is what
That
this
is
is what I
haram.
also said about when you man was saying that beating should be a last resort. I feel like if that kind of learning is done on a regular basis, it shouldn't even be a regular basis, because a child will understand that, okay, if I've done this once and now I understand why it's wrong, then I'm not going to do it again. So beating shouldn't even come into the question.
Yeah.
It shouldn't come into the equation at all.
But
To be honest,
children
equation.
can be stubborn, innit? Like,
They can
Yeah,
be stubborn,
very
yes,
stubborn.
of course they can.
I think we're
when
all
the
wrong
baby
for
comes
when
in.
we
Go,
went
Mamz.
round in the circle earlier and we asked. I think we're all wrong to have said that. Yeah, we'll beat, because I feel like we shouldn't have that mentality in the first place.
Right, and
Yeah,
you wanted
we
to
like-
attack me
I
for it.
don't
no,
have
no,
that
no,
mentality.
No, 'cause we said we would.
you're doing it, Ibs. You're doing me like Ibs did. Hey, carry on. Finish.
Hey,
Like,
Yeah,
I
man.
remember
I'll be
saying
real.
specifically, there's many steps before that.
yeah.
Think of it this way: every time there's an event or there's an emergency, or let's
But
say a
the
fire
thing-
breaks out,
do you-
there's
do
many
you-
steps.
Do you know
up.
what? Yeah,
There's
do you
many
know? Yeah,
steps
but
towards-
the
many-
reason,
I'm not on this disclaimer thing, innit?
the reason I have a problem with you saying it's an option at the jump is because it's like you're almost assuming
That
that
this
all
child
of
is
those
gonna
steps
be
in the
a
middle are
mess.
not going to
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
No.
It's almost an assumption. So if this
Do
doesn't
you know
work,
I'm gonna- do you know I'm gonna-
I have
do you know I'm
that.
gonna jump?
So
Do you know I'm
if-
gonna
hold on,
jump?
hold on, wait, let me finish.
All right.
It's like, if this doesn't finish, then I have that. So what if that doesn't work? What's the next step after that?
What?
If beating doesn't work, what's after that?
Let me.
This is the point
No,
I'm
no,
making.
let me jump, and this is I'm gonna back what Dula was saying just now. Yeah. So like, when you're making a plan, the reason why I say it can be in the plan, yeah, is because, like, let's say at Dula Day, Tuesday, to jump on the example that Dula just gave, yeah. Like, let's say you've got a fire protocol. Should you not like that? That's last stage where it's critical. Just run and save yourself type. That just because it might not be the best scenario, but it's still on the plan. It's still there as an option, though. So like, that's what I don't like. That's why I said you tried to do me like Ibs.
You need to
Because
remember
Let's
that.
change.
okay,
Let's
You
change
need to
the
remember that
question.
in
No,
90,
fam, we ain't got
you
time,
need to
man.
remember that in 99% of the scenarios, 99% of cases is never going to reach that last. It's never
Right,
going
And the
to.
thing is,
Okay,
I
so
can't.
if-
The thing is,
There's
I
going to
can't
be so
confirm.
many steps.
I
That's why
can't
keep
confirm.
saying
I
there's
can't.
so many steps.
If that's the
before.
case, is there anything wrong with designing a plan that you believe is so foolproof that you never have to get?
How
to that
can I
stage?
design a plan when the child isn't? Remember the example I just gave you about what I said. What I said is about the parent being I forgot the word I used. Intellectual. Let's say intellectual, because fam, we can't not obviously it's for the sake of conversation, yeah. But how can I make a plan and I haven't even met my child yet?
Yeah, it's true.
Remember, so in that specific example I gave
So why are
you,
we talking about this then?
no. So what I'm saying is no. So I'm saying you can't be attacking me for having it on the plan as an option. So what I'm doing is I'm not gonna rule out an option when from even like let's say I've taken that information that my boy gave me. Yeah. It's like you may have a child. Inshallah, we don't hope this happens, but you may have a child where just verbal communication is just not going to do the trick, and it may be the best solution for them. And remember, and when I'm saying beating, by the way, obviously, let's rule out. Let's rule because there are times, and I'll explain to you off. I don't really want to say it on the mic too tough, innit?
If there's an issue with communication, there must be.
Let him know.
No, but some people just
must be-
like for
I need to
example,
adapt
let's say
to
let's say a
place.
child is
Because children you're forgetting, even if you have 3 or 4 children in a household, they're each going to be different. They're each going to have their own.
Yeah,
He's just
there's
giving an example. He's just giving
yeah, it's an example. It's an example, and another thing is when I'm physical doesn't mean painful as well. Remember that as well.
That's where.
So beating out of anger and beating out of frustration, same way anything in this world. When you act out of frustration, it's not going to be conducive to the result that you'd want if you was in a clear mind.
Like
99% of the time.
the dad, the mum, they could have just had a bad day at work.
Exactly.
Do you get me?
And
And
that's
if they
never-
have,
and that's never. And
if they
that-
have, and they come home
How many
and
times
take
have
that
you got
out.
beef
Hold
for
on,
smiling?
hold on.
Whoa.
Or laughing. I'm serious.
Not in my house.
Okay, you might say maybe because you can't think of the scenarios, but there've been times where people have been beat because
Nah, I know what you're saying.
the
Like, why are you
parents have
smiling?
been in a mood or something's happened that is not even related to the
It
child.
hasn't happened to me,
and
but
then
I've
the
seen
child, and then maybe mum's told you to go wash the dishes or whatever, and then you smiled for no other reason or whatever, or your mum's scolding and then you just smell.
And do you know something I'd say as well? Sorry, yeah, that I do, just moving it slightly a bit. Yeah, what I'd say is worse or often worse than beating is psychologically punishing, which a lot of parents do.
Like what?
So, for example, the typical example you've heard is the whole, oh, your dad left me and I'm here and I'm raising you. That type of, basically, I'm taking out all my frustrations on you type.
Disgusting.
And that's that happens bare.
Yeah, but we're talking about normal scenarios where
that's bare. That's
beat their children as punishment.
I'm going out and working hard for you, and then you can't even wash the plates. You horrible. You hate me. You don't love me. Fam, that's so common, fam.
I think that's good, I'm beating you because I love you. Stuff like that.
No,
that's you've never heard that before. People say like,
that's a Nigerian justification.
But what basically? So the point I'm making,
but that's tapped,
and I think this, and I think
that will affect people's future relationships.
Make them think that love is getting beaten for women as well. It's mad.
So when it comes to for like parents, especially when comes to when children get a bit older, innit? When you get to like 10, 11, 12, you start to really hold your parents and you can understand, you hold them in a high regard, yeah. When they start saying things, and you know, some parents are so, and it can be Nigerians as well, or everyone, and I'd say this type of child discipline or whatever, it's probably something that you see more with, I'd say, women, in my experience anyway. Is that, or from what I've heard, is that it's like all the negatives in my life, I'm taking them, I'm either voicing them out to you, making it seem like it's your fault, or making it seem like my life would be better without you. Those type of, and that happens bare, and it's always, and it's normally in a struggle type household, and that's the parents, yeah, whose children are the ones that go and hit the trap because they're like, I got to do. You know them children that will say, I'm doing this for my family, I'm doing this for my
mumsy.
Where do you think? Obviously, there's different types of reasons in that, but often where do you think it's coming from? Because so and I would say just be in those situations when the child's lying in their state stabbed, should have just beat him. It should have just beat him instead of telling him that he's the reason we're in this council block is because of you, which, and you don't need to say it in that way to say it. And to make children process it like that. And so
they might not feel comfortable now asking the mum for money anymore because of, you know, and so because they don't feel comfortable, they're now going out to go and make it.
And when you're 11, a lot of the time, when you're 11, 12, 13, you're going to remember that a lot more than you're going to remember the belt that you got on your leg more time, or when you're older. So
no, if it leaves a mark.
So obviously, I don't want to.
Yeah, no, I know you used to.
So there's. I mean, there's
levels to it.
So like the whole physical thing, man. Then but like there's other ways other ways you can do things a lot worse to people than just beating. Like
just to round it off and give my last. I'm just gonna. This last time I'm gonna speak on this. In regards to beating children, I think it takes a certain level of self-control and a certain level of wisdom to, if your child's done something, even if it's horrific, to just sit down, compose yourself, and think about, if you're going to punish your child, think about how your punishment that you have in mind is going to benefit your child, or how your child's going to progress from this, and how going forward, how it's going to benefit your child.
No, yeah.
Is this out of frustration? Is this out of guilt? Is this out of certain households, jealousy? What is it? And how, moving forward, how is this going to affect your child? Is your child going to think twice before they do something like this? Is the child going to learn from this if you punish them this way? Go ahead. It
would be good to get like a perspective of an actual parent. Yeah, do you get me? Because it's all good. Again. No, like I'm just saying, like it's all good. Like thinking about all these things. Like we can't really advise. We can't because we can't advise because we don't have children, and it's as simple as that. But yeah, man. Yeah. But
another thing, just on it Islamically anyway, like beating.
Out of frustration,
haram as but in terms of for the purpose of preventing bad manners and especially when they don't pray, the hadith, if your child is not praying by what is it?
Seven.
Yeah.
Well, puberty.
Do you know what's mad? So wait,
even though it's before, I think it's before. I think it's
It's
a number.
seven.
It's a
It's
number.
seven.
It's a
I
number.
remember hearing 7 in it. But what you just said there is mad because it's not even parents. What I'm gonna say now, but I remember being in madrasa. Yeah. Let me not say this because actually I don't know who's listening. You get me? But yeah, man, there's like coming from. It's mad. It's mad. Alhamdulillah, not the Nigerian community, but yeah.
It is.
It's mad. You know why? Because it has so much relevance to this.
Yeah.
But then, wallahi, like people don't understand. Some of like what they say may be doing more harm than good. Do you get me?
No,
A lot of these Muslims are on Twitter saying stuff that happened to them, and it's like deal with it, but it doesn't need to be on
the internet.
Do you get me?
On the big
Because
internet.
because you get me. So I won't say where it is, but alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
No,
but
yeah.
what's the hadith paraphrase? But essentially, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Command your children to pray when they become 7 years old and beat them for it." So, if they're not doing it, and obviously that's not finish their lives.
Who would
That's not finishing their lives.
narrated it and that?
I'll put it in the description. But I've heard that.
He says paraphrasing,
I said a paraphrasing. Anyway.
But yeah, the game is not available at the moment.
Let's put
When
it out
it is,
there.
you know, it's not available.
Can't
at the
play
moment,
it.
but yeah,
It's job for us.
it's getting
Inshallah, yeah.
And when it is ready, inshallah, I'll come back and you know.
And if we ever use it again, obviously we'll plug that up and stuff. But yeah, man,
But
because I'm not gonna lie, we're recording in 2 days, and
What's the time?
I might need that again still.
What's the time? No. Not until it's ready. Do you get me?
No,
Come on,
just one or two.
But you're not welcome back on the pod.
Don't come back then.
Hey, but yeah.
After we have to change the passwords and that.
Follow up the social though. Black Potential in it because there's more content that I'm trying to produce with regards to
What
just a
is-
little side hustle anyway because
Quickly, what is
Yeah.
black potential?
We
What is black
we
potential?
slightly went over that.
yeah I don't know
Because
but I don't know
can't
if we're
tell
gonna
people
include
to
that
follow it.
stuff.
We've never spoken
I'm not
about
sure
it.
how.
Went over
And what's mad is that
slightly.
if time permits, is that what does it cut out at 8 o'clock?
We've got 120 seconds. No, but we're gonna get booted out. We've got 120 seconds still.
What it is that yeah, real quickly as well. The game won't come out anytime soon because of how like caught up with work I am in it. But this is kind of like a platform that I'm trying to build with loads of series that will kind of elevate our demographic. You get me in terms of education wise, and another series will show kind of like how certain people have. I'm
Progressed
waffling,
in their
fam. How have I
fields.
just gone mind blank, fam? But yeah,
Progressed in their field.
progressed in their fields. Do you get me? Progressed in their fields, and yeah, man, this is not doing it any justice because I'm shattered. You know, been on the M-way since like 3 o'clock. So yeah,
we'll plug
my
it.
head's not there, but
Everyone, please check it out.
But there.
Plug it in the description and stuff.
Weird.
And yeah, socials and them things there.
Yeah, we've done it at the beginning, so
We did at the beginning.
I think so. Oh,
We'll
Jollof
do it
after
again in
Jummah.
case you didn't hear.
Yeah.
Jollof after Jummah, Instagram, JAJ_pod on Twitter, which is going places now.
You got my life. You got my life to you today.
And yeah, email us with any thoughts, questions. What's the word I'm looking for? Bloody hell, feedback. There's another word I'm looking for.
Questions, feedback,
Rotted.
ideas, topics you want us to discuss.
I've lost it.
So, man,
But
it's
yeah,
hot in
anything.
here.
I say I've lost
So
it.
we spoke about
Yeah.
scenarios. We gave Abdul Malik gave scenarios last week. Sorry,
What are you doing?
last pod. If you want to give any, what?
Like you just jumped in
like
there.
you came
with
from
the
the-
family and just-
Remember, you know Undertaker and
completely
wrestling when
went-
he's like,
and just went on something.
No, I just
Like,
think-
what's going on?
no, carry on.
No, look, get
No,
them to
might as well finish now.
get them to send in topic. Well, they haven't been sending in. You haven't been sending.
I'm not putting in slant.
But
I'm
scenarios. Get them to send in scenarios that they would like us to discuss.
Cool.
Yeah,
No problem.
topics.
Or whatever.
All right, that has been episode 16.
To the email.
See you man
We're
back
back
in.
here. We're
2
back
days.
here in like
2 days, man.
in like 36 hours.
Might as well sleep.
Aye, we work hard for you, man. We work hard. But anyway, we love it. We
well,
love doing it, really, man. Alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum, people.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In a bit, Mamz.